I didn't think I'd be doing another review on an e-bike, but this thing was interesting enough that I decided to make an exception. This is the Macfox X1. It's an e-bike with single speed, and it doesn't really look like a bike. It looks kind of like a motorcycle, and that's what got me a little bit more interested in it. As you know, I have the Ride 1UP Core 5, got that to review, and it's been a solid little e-bike. I use it to run errands in town, and it works great for that. However, when I saw this, these little fat tires and the motorcycle seat and things like that, I thought that looks like something fun. So let's just go over the specs on this bike first. So it's running 20 by 4-inch tires. They're mini fat tires, love that. It's got a 500 watt motor on the back. You know, it's a hub driven motor, and I think it's a 750 peak. So definitely not the most powerful, and I can tell a difference. If I ride this and then I get on that Core 5, this just takes a little bit longer to get up to speed. It'll get there eventually, and it still tops out at the same 25 miles an hour, but it's just a little bit slower to accelerate. It's also a single speed, so you can pedal, but given the width of the seat, the fact that it's, you know, at the front is as wide as a saddle would be on a normal bike, it's not the most comfortable. You're kind of like that. But I don't think this bike is really designed to pedal, so it's more meant to be essentially an electric little motorcycle or moped or thing like that. Macfox says the target audience is basically for urban commuters. I do not live in an urban area, but you can tell from the dirt that I've been using it quite a bit. I've put about 60, 70 miles on it, running into town. I've used it to move feed for animals. I've taken my kids on rides, all kinds of just random things with it. And it's extremely fun. A lot of these lower end e-bikes or the more inexpensive bikes have a throttle, especially the ones with a hub driven. You're not going to find that on higher end mountain bikes or things like that. Those are going to be pedal assist only, which this, you know, has both. But this one has a throttle, a grip throttle, just, you know, like a dirt bike, like a motorcycle. It makes it really fun to ride. It's not super sensitive. It is kind of just like on or off, but that's okay. It's still really fun to ride. And when you pedal, the motor does kick in. It's also got a light up front, which I think is pretty cool. It's pretty, since it's LED, it's pretty like cut off at the edges, the way the projector is. And at first I was worried it wasn't going to work very well, but it actually has a pretty good pattern, and it's just, you kind of just have to aim it right. If it's aiming too far down, you're going to think, wow, this is useless. But as soon as you bring it up a little bit, it does a decent job. The range on this is 40-ish, 40 to 45 miles, and I would probably say that's pretty much true. There are 3 different modes, and so I'm going to say that's for the eco mode. That's the lowest mode. But otherwise, I think because it does have a smaller motor, it seems to last longer than it has on the 1UP bike. That bike, I feel like if I was going to go into town, it's about 5-6 miles round trip. I could probably do that twice. On this, I would say maybe 3 or 4 times. So about twice the life there if I'm on the highest mode and I'm just have it pinned. Price-wise, this is $1,000 as is. As you see it right here with the light, the battery, everything like this. There are some cool accessories you can add, including there's a little top tube bag essentially, and it's got the bolt holes for it right here. And it makes it looks like the gas tank on a motorcycle. It looks pretty cool with that. There's that. You can add fenders. You can also get a long range version, which I think is really appealing. So it ends up with dual batteries. The other one mounts right here, and that extends your battery life or your range quite a bit. It also has mechanical disc brakes, which I would say are decent. One nice thing that they did do though is they put 180 mil rotors front and rear. So that's kind of a cool upgrade. Nice that they actually thought about that. I'm guessing that with the fatter tires, which are fairly heavy, despite being a 20-inch wheel, there probably just was not enough stopping power just with a 160. On the back, you can see right here, it's got a reflector, but you could also mount a light here, and there's actually a connection for it. So if you wanted to add a rear tail light, that would work. I'm not sure if it would work as like a brake light, but it wouldn't surprise me if it did. So great that they wired that in there. The battery is easy to remove. Again, you are getting a raw look at how much I have used it. Look how dirty it is. That's just how this spring has been. So you've got a charging port and then also a USB connection right there. So I guess if you wanted to charge your phone or something like that, you could. And then the on and off switch. There's a key lock on the other side, and when you unlock that, it just pops out this way. When you turn it on, this headlight basically has a running light mode. You can see that it just kind of lights up around the edge right there, and then when you turn it on, there's your light. Turn it on by pushing that button there, and then you can cycle through the odometer, the trip odometer. I think that's the voltage right there. And then you are able to change from eco mode. This I found gets me up to about 10 miles an hour. Then there's the mid mode, which I think is around 15, 16. And then you've got high, and that will get you up to 25 miles an hour. This is your battery life indicator right here. And yeah, let's take it for a little ride so you can see kind of what it looks like. So it's pretty simple. You want to go, you can either pedal, and that'll kick the motor in. As soon as you stop pedaling, it cuts out, or you can pull on throttle and you get going pretty quick. You know, I weigh like 240, and it's still in this short little area on my driveway. It's gonna get me up over 20 miles an hour. So it's got plenty of power, stops well. Ooh, squeaky brakes though. It's super comfortable. The seat is really comfortable to ride on. There's plenty of room right here. I've stuck my kids on here with the helmet on, and they just hold onto the bar, and we go for a little ride around. Never on the road, but just around on dirt and stuff like that. Around the yard, basically. But yeah, see, it tops out at 25 miles an hour. The motor kicks off, and then yeah, you're kind of on your own at that point, but it'll maintain 25. It's been a fun bike. It's a lot nicer to kind of just hop on really quick and go do something. If I lived in town and wanted to run to the store really quick, it's nicer than having to get in the car, and it makes it a more enjoyable experience when you need to. There's no suspension, obviously, but with the fat tires, you don't really need it. It's a lot like riding a normal fat bike. You can just feel it bumps for sure, but it's not bad. It's dead end for sure. So there we go. This is the Macfox X1. They have an X2 that's full suspension. I might be getting that to test that out. But the X1 has been really good, really fun little bike. Do I think it's meant for mountain biking and severe abuse? No, but if you're wanting something to ride around town or to ride around in the mountains and you don't want to cough up the money for a one with a motor, a dirt bike or something like that, or you know, just something to go for a nice Sunday ride, it's really fun. It's the perfect thing for that. Like I said, it's $1,000. I do have a code for $100 off of that, so 10%. So you can use the code RYR, as in ride year round, and that'll get you $100 off of this. So go check that out, and let me know down in the comments what you think. I'm typically fat bike, plus bike, mountain bike, gravel focused, but I'm also a big believer that you don't have to spend $5,000 on a bike to get something that you're gonna really enjoy. And I think that's applying to e-bikes more and more, the more I look at it. And if you look at them as a tool or something that is not a replacement for your bike, then I think it can be something pretty cool, and it can get you outside and get you on a bike all year long. I've got a couple more reviews coming up, the RSD Sargent V5 and then the Corvus Skookum AF. Those reviews are going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.